Hello and welcome everyone, Josh first at it again with some more Epic 7. Now today we're going to be doing somewhat of a rant slash discussion video, kind of talking about some of the issues that the game has. Now, in case some of you get kind of confused, this is not a hate video. I love the game. I love Epic 7. It's amazing. It's got a lot of great things, a lot of cool things, but no game is perfect and every game does have a few things that really need to be talked about in terms of kind of issues, consistency or balancing that really needs to be addressed. And I don't know. I just feel there's a few things that really need to change to make this game better instead of worse, because this game is definitely going down a road that I don't want to see it go down. And as you get into the game later and later and later, you start realizing these things a lot more often. Now, when you first start playing the game, some of these things may not feel like they exist. They feel pretty non-existent. The game does a pretty good job of hiding and masking those issues early on. But like I said, when you get to more, I'd say week 3, week 4, you start really discovering that these problems are there, and it really kind of hampers on your gameplay. So let's talk about a few of those problems, and if you agree with any of these problems, comment below. If you don't, tell me why in the comment section below. And yeah, and like the video if you did, of course. Now, we're probably going to get a lot of hate because some people just think the game is perfect, there's nothing wrong, which is false. So whatever, it'll happen. We can't do nothing about it. But, so a few of the problems we're going to talk about are going to be someone, basically gold and stamina. Now, them are the two probably biggest issues in the game. There are various other things, but we're not going to be able to discuss all the problems, so there will be a few that I miss, and these are not in any kind of order. So, anyways, we're going to talk about gold first. So, gold is used for literally everything in the game almost. You need it for promotion. You need it for enhancing equipment, for unequipping equipment, for changing equipment. You need it for the secret shop. You need it for the steel workshop. You just use gold for literally anything. You need it for the merchants as well that you can find in the labyrinth. So you just need it for literally everything. So one example is if you go in here to the secret workshop, the secret shop, you'll see there's various items in here for sale. Some people like to refresh, trying to go for tier 6. Necklaces and rings, which also leads me to another issue. The only good place to get proper rings and necklaces is the secret shop, and that needs to change. They need to add those to the steel workshop. We need to be able to craft those as well, not just in here or hoping and praying and crossing your fingers that you get a good drop from the chest, which by the way only goes up to level 60. And I don't mean enhancement level, I mean level 60 in terms of the new tier system, which I'll show you in one moment. So this is one way to do it. Now, if you're looking for some good ones, I mean, as you can see, the price of gold really jumps up pretty high. I mean, look at this. A 70 rare grade destruction necklace is going for 560,000 gold. And it can go up to like 1.4 million if you're looking for a really good one. And then you also got to hope that you get the good main stat and some good substats. And a lot of times you even have to gamble on a third or fourth substat. So it's a lot of RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. I feel like this game has way too much RNG. It's a gacha. So RNG for summons is one thing. But they've turned the whole game into a gacha system for everything. Getting equipment drops, getting catalyst drops, getting certain materials for awakening. They even did the same thing with, with resetting your secret shop, getting things from chest. Every single thing in this game is gacha, and I think it's too much gacha. Us as a player, we really are limited on how much we can control of what's happening in this game, because almost every single thing in this game is RNG based. Too much RNG. Now, a gacha game, of course, is built around RNG, but usually it's involving the summons. Everything else is kind of cut and dry. You kind of manipulate things in your own way by how you play. We can't do that in this game, and we'll be talking more on why that's an issue in the video later on. But back to gold. As you can see, you need a lot of gold for that. You need gold for the steel workshop, which we'll go into the steel workshop now as well. We're going to just bounce around to various areas where gold is useful. So as you can see in here, you get gold that can be used for the steel workshop as well. And by the way, do not use the steel workshop at all unless you have all this maxed out. And of course, my blacksmith's dormitory isn't maxed out quite yet. So rip me. But I would highly recommend that you max out all three. At the very least, max out the middle, so you have a higher chance to get epic grade, weapons and heroic instead of rare. So at the very least, upgrade the middle. So quick little tip there. But as you can see here, you can select all weapons and you can choose what specific weapon piece that you want. And you can get boots, you can get armor, you can get your weapon, you can get your helmet. Unfortunately though, you can't decide on if it's going to be speed, or if it's going to be hit, or if it's going to be critical. Same with Golem, same problem. You got defense, HP, and attack. Banshee, you got lifesteal. Banshee's even worse, because now you got 4 sets to deal with. You got counter, you got lifesteal, destruction, and resist. So it's even more RNG if you go through Banshee. And Banshee's really not the favorite one people use anyway. But it's the fact that not only do you have to rely on RNG of what armor set you're going to get, you now have to rely on what grade it's going to be, and then what the main and sub stats will be. So that is 3 layers of RNG right there that your gold's going to. So, it's a lot of RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. Too many layers. And again, that's another thing that you need for gold. Another thing, we go into our characters here. Alright, so now we have our equipment. You want to rank up your equipment. As you can see here, if I just want to enhance this, of course I've got nothing. I've got like some stuff like this. I can just throw a bunch of random in here, and you need a lot of gold to enhance. There you go. I want, of course, enhance those, but you get the idea. And if I want to change them, say I want to change them to another set of boots, it's going to cost me 5,000. Sometimes it can get even higher depending on what the tier of armor is. Some of it can cost 25,000 to equip and unequip. Some of it can cost 50,000 to equip and unequip. We should not be spending gold to unequip the armor that we already own. It's not needed. I've played a lot of games where they don't do that. It just should not be a thing, right? We already own the gold. The gold right now is so scarce and so limited in this game as it is, that making us pay 5,000, 2,500, 15,000, 25,000, even 50,000 just to move a piece of armor off of a character onto another, or just to take it off and put another piece on, is absolutely ridiculous. You are wasting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of gold a week by doing that, because you're going to be swapping armor a lot. Because you're going to keep building up your armor to get better and better. And some armor may fit better on certain characters. So you're going to start swapping and switching and doing all that stuff. And it's just going to cost you a fortune that you do not have. Because gold is very scarce. Some of the best places to get gold right now are doing side stories where you're getting maybe 12 to 15,000 gold a trip for averaging 10 to 12 stamina on a world difficulty. Unless you get the random chest drops that can give you anywhere from like 4 to 20,000 gold, which are great, but they don't happen often. And then you also have Hunt, which is another place to get gold, because you can get like 12 to like 16,000 a run guaranteed. Plus, if you get a bad armor or a armor that you don't need, you can sell that as well for additional gold. So those are like some of the best places to get gold, but even then, you are spending a crap load of stamina to do that. And even if you do all your dailies, like right now we currently have like the Archie missions, the Archie, roll of dice. We also have your, your free stamina from using arena points and using friendship points. If you add all that in, plus your full maxed out stamina of whatever rank you are, I'm currently 56, you're going to burn through that in literally an hour, if that. Okay? And then you're going to have to wait several hours for your stamina to recharge. Now, there are ways to get that stamina back by using Sky Stones. But if you're free to play using your Sky Stones for stamina, then you no longer are going to have the means to keep summoning. So if you're in this game to summon, you're not going to be able to play the game that long without wailing out. If you're in this game to play long, you're not going to be able to summon very often, because you're going to be using Sky Stones to recharge stamina. So you have kind of a conundrum here, kind of in a dilemma. You have an issue. So that's going to lead us into stamina now, because I think you guys get the idea. Gold is an issue. Stuff costs too much. Gold is too scarce. There's not good ways to get it, even with the Goblin Challenge, which only gives you 50,000, I think 3 times a week. That's not very much. You can go through millions of gold in a matter of minutes easily in this game. That is an issue. Now, back to stamina, which will be the next topic we're going to be getting into. Stamina becomes another big concern. And there are a few big reasons why stamina just gets depleted like there is no tomorrow. Okay, let's first talk about specialty changes. So, as you guys know, Commander Lorena and Falcon McClurry, which I have just sitting here graciously at the table looking gorgeous. Falcon McClurry, stamina-wise, could probably be achieved in a couple days of hard grinding. And I mean hard grinding. Commander Lorena, depending on if you get RNG with urgent missions, could take you 3, 4, maybe even some people get super unlucky and take 5 weeks of hard grinding to get Commander Lorena. Some people might get very lucky and get her in like a week or two, but you'd have to really no-life the game and really wail out on stamina. That either by using all your Sky Stones or by purchasing Leafs. So you're talking a lot of stamina investment to get a specialty change. But that is not even the real issue. The real stamina burn comes after the specialty change. Yes, a lot of you probably thought, oh man, getting specialty change is the best thing ever. It allows like free-to-play to get a 3-star and make it a strong unit or whatever. Wrong. Wrong. Because here is the major issue. After you've busted your butt, finally getting that specialty change, which some of you may have taken a lot longer than others, depending on how you're managing your stamina or how you're obtaining leaves or if you're limited on Sky Stones, then the real issue starts after. So afterwards, you get this special thing called a skill tree. And the skill tree is where the real stamina burn happens. So here's the skill tree. You can take your skill tree up to plus 30. As you can see, I was working on my Clury a little bit yesterday. And the thing is, you need all the triangles. You need all the, basically the greater life runes. And then you need all kinds of epic life runes. You need like 30 plus or whatever. And you need over 200 triangles. So you need over 200 of these, over 30 of these. Okay? Doesn't sound that bad, right? You know, only 200. Oh, okay. Problem is, you can only get 1 to 2 usually per run. No matter what stage you go. Even if you go up to stage 10. Stage 10. The highest difficulty available at the Earth Altar. You might still get only 1 of these to drop per run. Because it's another, again, an issue with RNG and balancing. So you can go up to 5 or 6 in farm and get 5 of these to drop or even 2 of these to drop for less stamina and for way less time because the boss is much easier to defeat. But if you go to 9 and 10, you won't have to worry about getting the small life runes anymore. You only get the triangles or up to the epics. Problem is, the epic life rune has a terrible drop rate. And the triangles can still give you only 1 or 2, but take sometimes double the amount of time and, you know, possibly up to 4 more stamina per run when you could just do it at 5 or 6, you know, with the chance of getting these as well, of course, but still getting up to 2 of these. So that's a real issue. And needing over 200 of those, you're talking at minimum, if you get extremely lucky and you get 2 triangles to drop per run, it's going to take you over 120 plus runs or somewhere around there. So you're looking at 1,400 plus stamina. And that's just to get the triangles. Then you got to still go in and get 30 plus epic runes. And if you don't get lucky with your epic rune drops, then you need 10 more triangles per epic rune. So then you could do the math and add additional tons of stamina. And that's just to do 1 skill tree. That is insane. And that's after all the stamina you've burnt to just get the Falcon or Clury or the Commander Lorena or the God Axe specialty change in the first place. So, and Commander Lorena is one of the more favorite characters in the game right now, and she needs a crap load of stamina to make her Commander Lorena, to give her specialty change. Especially if urgent missions are not dropping very often, but you still need 10,000 monster kills in world. You know, in the story, adventure or side stories that have missions to make it count. 10,000 monster kills. So either way, the so-called free-to-play units really don't feel so free to play when you go through the entire grind and get them up to plus 30 in the skill tree. because your stamina, you're talking thousands of stamina gone. So you either have to say goodbye to being free to play and buy a lot of leaves, or say goodbye to sky stones for summoning to keep replenishing that stamina. So at that point, you're going to have to play a lot more tight-knit and not worry about summoning and more focus on the current whatever team you have. And if it's not a great team, then you're kind of in a little bit, you're kind of in like another dilemma of, do you just continue going on with making a special change, or do you just try to summon for a better character that's already good out of the box that you don't need to invest into so hard, like a Commando Arena or Falcon or Clury, et cetera, et cetera. So you definitely have a lot of things there to consider, but that's definitely one big hurdle that you have to overcome when it comes to limited stamina, and a lot of things cost expensive amounts of stamina. 12 stamina per run, 10 stamina per run. It goes by quick. It just goes by extremely quick. And since they currently have everyone capped at rank 60, which does take a while to get to, the people who are at 60 are not gaining additional stamina because it is capped at that rank. You can't go no higher right now. I'm sure they'll extend it later on, but it's the fact that all this time people are grinding and grinding and grinding, they're not getting EXP to go towards a higher rank to get more stamina. But even then, stamina would still be a major issue, so it wouldn't even matter. So, I mean, that's just a few problems. Another problem, like I said, with the balancing with like Hunt 9 and Hunt 10 and even Hunt 8 giving you sometimes barely better rewards, if not the same rewards as you're getting at Hunt 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, that is another big issue. There should not be, any rare drops of anything at higher hunt ranks, hunt stages rather, as the low ones. That makes 0 sense. The same thing can be said with Altar. We should not be seeing the little runes at stage 5 and 6. Stage 4 maybe, and that's it. And then stage 5, 6, and 7 should be like all the triangles only. And it should be guaranteed at least 1 to 2 to drop per run. Okay? And then like maybe 8, 9, and 10, or at least 9 and 10 should just be epic rune drops only. And then 8 could be the stage where you could drop either triangles or the epic runes, right? So something like that would be a lot more balanced and a lot more worthwhile, because what is the point of us busting our butt trying to fight the higher stages of Hunt or the higher stages of, Altar, when we're getting rewarded the same as somebody who's fighting it on a very lower stage with a weaker boss for less stamina? Where is the balance in that? There is none. So that's another issue that the game definitely needs to focus on. Smilegate, hopefully you're watching this video. If you do, or if somebody that watches this can contact Smilegate and they do get a hold of them to watch the video, that would be great, because I'm trying to keep this, less of a rant, more of a discussion of issues as I possibly can. But yeah, there's definitely a few things that really need to be reworked in the game. And I really hope that they do, because this game is a lot of fun and I enjoy it. And I want to see a lot of other players enjoy it, both free-to-play, whales, in-betweeners. It doesn't matter. I want everybody to somehow find enjoyment from the game. But I feel like right now we're kind of really we're like all of the players are kind of put into a bubble, and we're all forced to play this way or that way with real no freedom, because everything is locked behind RNG, literally almost everything. So I feel like a lot of us are just farming and farming and farming, but we're not really being rewarded for all the farming that we're doing. So that's a problem. Rare catalyst drops are more like super, super rare catalyst drops, because they're very hard to get, more RNG based. And if you want an epic catalyst to drop, oh boy, get ready to spend quite a few thousand stamina possibly to get those to drop, especially for if you need to 6 awaken a 5-star character or a 4-star character, where you're needing like 8 or 10 of the item or something, which is insane. One good example is the epic rune Blazing Soul. I'm sorry, epic rune, epic catalyst drop, Blazing Soul, that a lot of people use to get Yuna or to 6-star awaken various characters. I've heard stories where people were going 2,000, 3,000, even 4,000 stamina on that on 4-9 world difficulty and getting no drops, none. And you're talking 3,000, 4,000 stamina. Now imagine how many leaves that is, how many sky stones that is. That is ridiculous. And getting no drop at all. So, yes, definitely an issue. And then, of course, summoning rates are very low in this game as well. So it's like you add that as another layer, and this game could have an issue going forward if it continues at the current pace. So I'm hoping. Sorry if you guys hear kids in the background. So hopefully Smilegate can see some of these issues and really addresses them quickly. At the very least, and to their credit, they have been giving us updates, almost literally every week. So that's good. They're staying active as a developer, and I like to see that, and I hope that continues going forward. I just hope that they kind of steer the ship right and kind of do something about gold, stamina, some of the balancing, especially when it comes to reward drops based on what kind of stage difficulty you're fighting or playing against. So those are a few things. I know there's a lot more that we could talk about, but I don't want to make the video too long. I think we covered a majority of the general things that a lot of people have issues with. And if you do agree with anything I said, definitely let me know in the comment section below. If you disagree with anything, also comment below. Drop a like on the video if you did. And if you guys want to see some more Epic 7 content, be sure to subscribe for more. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I hope you guys all have a great and fantastic rest of your day, wherever you are. And don't forget to join us in the Discord in the description below as always. Until next time, peace.